penalty area with Leandro Paredes, who will just drop between the two centre-halves as Argentina settle into their pretty familiar and pretty recognisable pattern of build-up play. That's slipped forward between the lines, and on the right-hand side it was Fernandez, now Molina back. And all the way back from Romero to the goalkeeper Martinez. Brazil without a touch in the opening 60 seconds as that's carried forward by Christian Romero of Tottenham Hotspur. He's been out injured for quite a prolonged period, the Spurs centre-half. And he just returned to the Tottenham Hotspur 11 in the Premier League recently. He's back again on the international stage, Christian Romero. Ball on the left-hand side for Argentina as they will work it across to Romero on this right-hand side. Vinicius Junior, the most advanced of the Brazil attackers, with Matheus Cunha joining Vinicius in the centre circle. They'll work it out to this right-hand side, where it's collected by Molina, inside from De Paul. And back to him from Alvarez, just caught there, I think, by Andre. Paredes steps forward, but there's no space for him to work any magic. Forward from Romero, De Paul, Molina, Fernandez, that's behind Alvarez, and Brazil will burst away with it. It's Matheus Cunha, and he's just rammed his way through a couple of challenges, and the pass forward was intended for Rafinha. It was slightly behind him, and Argentina can mop it up and draw the foul on Rodrigo de Paul. It's Rodrigo that concedes it. For the first time, Brazil had a touch, and it almost turned into something a little bit more encouraging for Dorival Jr. He's been brought in with a reputation of being a bit of a firefighter, but at the moment, Brazil lacking that identity. It's been a similar story over the past few years, that while the talent is absolutely there in the playing staff and the squad, sometimes it's difficult to really know how Brazil are going to try and take on some of these rivals, and on their biggest stage they've fallen short in the World Cup recently, and of course in the Copa America, and domestically on their home federation tournaments. And there it is, Rafinha just ran into traffic and loses the ball on the left-hand side, and he'll concede the foul as well. He's really stepped up in the build-up to this game, Rafinha. Put his head above the parapet with a couple of choice words before the game. Step forward, that's a lovely pass towards Alvarez, who's going to bundle it all the way through. It's wonderful stuff from Julian Alvarez to give Argentina the lead. An inquest in the Brazil back line already. The first real time that Argentina got in behind that Brazil back line. It all started from Rafinha trying to be a little bit too adventurous down the right-hand side, ran into traffic. They took the free kick quickly. Almada slipped it backwards. They worked it along the back line. Rodrigo de Paul spots a wonderful crossfield ball. It was cushioned down on that left-hand side by Tagliafico. A lovely little turn, a neat one from Thiago Almada, who then slips it through to Julian Alvarez. It's a beautiful pass from Almada, but Alvarez has two defenders either side of him. He holds them both off. It's a lovely touch out of his feet and beyond the figures of Arana and Murillo, and he gets there before Bento to put Argentina into the lead with less than 5 minutes played at Estadio Monumental. Brazil have barely touched the ball. When they have, it's been a bit like that from the Nottingham Forest defender. It was heavy and had to go backwards to his goalkeeper, who hammers it downfield up to the halfway line. Messi, who Argentina all over Brazil in the opening 5 minutes, but can Brazil respond here? Is dancing forward comes Rodrigo. Across came Romero and just cut him off. A little bit of a body check from the Tottenham man. It will be a free kick for Brazil, but what a way to start. A rapid goal from Argentina. 4 minutes it's been clocked at. We will, the stats, 86% possession Argentina's way. Argentina with a very bright start, but Brazil with the opportunity to respond here with a free kick to be taken by Rafinha on this left-hand side. Murillo and Marquinhos have made their first wander downfield to join the fray in the penalty area. He's backed himself into a bit of a corner here, Rafinha, with his comments. As we said, choice words about Brazil's chances this evening. In an interview with Romario, it's taken towards the back post. Rodrigo de Paul was down. Referee wasn't impressed. He allowed Brazil to get on with the set piece, but it was cleared. Now he's back in towards the edge of the penalty area, where that's nodded down by Otamendi. And now here it is with Almada on the right hand side, but in his own defensive third. Now Fernandes will slot this back. Molina, De Paul on the right hand side, slips that between the legs of Joe Linton, and bursting forward onto it comes Chelsea's Enzo Fernandez. He'll slip this inside. That's a beautiful little pirouette to turn away from the challenge by Alexis McAllister. But Brazil have regained their shape and forced Argentina back into their own half. Here's De Paul to try and ping this around on the amongst the back four. Romero down the right hand side. It was a decent spot to feed that forward to Nahuel Molina. They couldn't keep it, Argentina. It's out of play for a Brazil throw-in. It's a little bit shell-shocked there, manager Dorival Jr. Otamendi, that's loose pass. Cleared by Romero. He was caught late there, but kept his feet to his credit. Into the centre circle, Wesley, Joe Linton, Murillo, now down the left-hand side, and Rodrigo, who looks backwards. Arana, inside to Nottingham Forest's Murillo. He's been wonderful for them this season in that quite remarkable campaign that they're having up in the East Midlands, chasing Champions League qualification. If you said that to a Nottingham Forest fan this time last year when they were locked in that battle with Luton Town, fraught with all those social media posts and the likes of Mark Clattenburg taking up a role in the Nottingham Forest hierarchy, and now with an opportunity to return to their promised land in the Champions League, and Murillo has been part of that. He's been really important to it, the Brazilian centre-back, who's just a little pass to his left to feed Arana, and now Vinicius Jr. will run round the outside of Nahuel, and he's run straight into the clutches of Romero, who'll slip that between the legs of the man that came across to close him down. It was Mateus Cunha, but given away on the halfway line. Here is Cunha, slips that round the corner, flicks it rather in field to Vinicius Jr. Argentina will mop it up just outside their penalty area. Here's Fernandes, and now Rodrigo de Paul. McAllister, De Paul, and now back to Molina, and Argentina reset with a pass all the way back to their goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Into the penalty area. It's forward from Romero. De Paul. Paredes really dropping alongside the two centre-halves quite often. Nahuel Molina seems to have been given quite a lot of licence to advance down that right-hand side. Here he is again. It's a heavy touch though. An awkward bouncing ball off the toe of Rodrigo de Paul over the head of Mateus Cunha. But a difficult one for him to take in his stride, and that will be a throw-in quickly taken by Brazil, but they weren't in possession for very long. Here is Alexis McAllister gliding forward for the Albi Celeste. Now on the left-hand side, Almada fishes that towards McAllister. Away by Marquinhos. Now it's Otamendi on the halfway line for Argentina. Struggling to really lay a glove on the Argentinians, Brazil at the moment, as that's worked across the back line. Right hand side, here's Romero, forward to Rodrigo de Paul. Mateus Cunha was snapping at his heels, but Argentina have a sense of control at the moment. And that's a nice ball from Paredes to slip it between the lines for Enzo Fernandez on that left hand side. Now a little bit wider. Fico. McAllister gets involved. Fernandez closer to the halfway line now, Argentina, but no less threatening. Romero. Back again to Emi Martinez, who, I'll be kind to him, he let it run under his boot to the retreating Otamendi. It hasn't really helped out Christian Romero with that pass either, but Argentina keep the ball in the 18-yard box, worked all the way across to the left-hand side. Otamendi, Fernandez, Almada dropping back to the edge of the penalty area. And now all the way across Christian Romero, and Argentina look like they've played out of this rather half-hearted press from Brazil. Rodrigo de Paul laid off to Paredes on the halfway line. Now charging forward comes Enzo Fernandez, left of centre. He's running at Wesley. Prods it inside, Alvarez lays it off to Paul, thinks about taking it on from the edge of the penalty area. It's fisted across to the edge of the corner of the box on the far side, and there's Enzo Fernandez to smuggle it home for Argentina to double their lead after just 12 minutes in Buenos Aires. A messy goal on a night when Messi's not involved. The first, a little piece of class from Julian Alvarez. The second here, just sheer force of will, really, from Argentina. It was Fernandez that set it up as he drove forward from the halfway line. Alvarez laid it off. There was Rodrigo de Paul. Thought about pulling the trigger. Here comes Molina. Low across the penalty area towards the back post. It's through 4 or 5 Brazil shirts. A little deflection off the toe of Murillo on the 6-yard line. Helps float it towards Enzo Fernandez, who tucks it home at the back post from less than a yard off the goal line. Brazil desperate pleas for the assistant referee's flag, but they never came. There is VAR in operation as well tonight, and I can tell you they've kicked off already. The goal will stand, and Argentina have a 2-goal lead, and they've got the ball back on the edge of the penalty area. Alvarez, De Paul. An onslaught from Argentina. Almada, low to the 6-yard line, skipped away by Murillo. Brazil on the ropes. Argentina smell blood in the water here. Fico will squeeze that back to Paredes on the far side for Argentina. It's shuffled in field to Otamendi. And now back with Martinez on the edge of his penalty area. His side are leading by 2 goals, and he's not faced a single shot yet, the Aston Villa keeper. Almada, Fico, back to Paredes. There was a lot of pace on that pass, and it was difficult for Leandro Paredes to handle. But there's Wesley applying the pressure and at least forcing the throw-in for Brazil. If you're only just joining us, you've missed a lot already. 2 goals for Argentina have given them a commanding position, and we're barely 15 minutes into this World Cup qualifier in Buenos Aires, where the locals are in a little bit of heaven. What does Dorival Jr. say to his team at the moment? How does he pull them back from this? They've got time on their hands, of course, but the ball just keeps seeming to break for Argentina, as it did then. The clearance from Murillo was straight to Enzo Fernandez, and the early ball by Almada cut out by the Forest man. Quickly swept back to Bento, who can just about clear it down the left-hand side. Vini Jr. will keep it in play, but he'll concede possession in the process. Enzo Fernandez. This is really confident stuff for Argentina. Enzo, right-hand side, Alvarez. Enzo Fernandez, Olay. Chance rain down around Estadio Monumental in the capital of Argentina, as Paredes back to Otamendi down the right hand side for Atletico Madrid midfielder Rodrigo de Paul. Molina steps in field, protecting the ball. Mateus Cunha sniffing it, hoping for an opportunity. In steps Tagliafico, back steps McAllister to help him out. Fizzed out to the left-hand side, too hot to handle for Almada, and it's Wesley that picks it up. Now Murillo. On the edge of the centre circle is Marquinhos. Joe Linton wants movement in front of him. There's no space. Argentina keeping a tight ship in the centre of the pitch. It's going to be with Rodrigo on the left-hand side that Brazil trying to unlock them, but he's been forced back again. And now Marquinhos can smuggle it back to Bento, who's just outside the penalty area. And it's Argentina that'll stroll forward deeper into Brazil territory as the goalkeeper takes his time and eventually finds Marquinhos on the edge of the penalty area. And Arana inside to Joel Linton. He's taking a lot of time on the ball at the moment, the Newcastle United midfielder. That's a bit sharper. And here's Rodrigo gliding through the centre circle, looking for movement in front of him. It's laid back to him by Rafinha, and the challenge was untidy by Alexis McAllister. Rafinha. It's taken off of his toe by Rodrigo. Wesley will try and slip one through in a tight little pocket of space on the right-hand side for Rafinha to run onto. The appeal for the corner was rather hopeful from the Barcelona man, and it's out of play for a goal kick, but a problem down at the other end for Bento. The Al Nasser goalkeeper is in a bit of a pain. Sat down in his 6-yard box. It's in Buenos Aires. Argentina lead by 2-0. Julian Alvarez with the first. The second, a tap in from Enzo Fernandez at the back post. And after losing Alisson against Colombia, it's like Brazil might have to make another change. There's Bento just receiving treatment for something. 25-year-old, he only made his debut back in March of last year. Almost a year to the day, actually. That 1-0 win against England. It's just his 4th cap for Brazil there. Just tending to Bento. It's something to do with his left temple. Born in Curitiba. It's part of the Atletico Paranaense youth setup. Getting another opportunity for the Seleção this evening due to the absence of Alisson. They do have cover on the bench, of course. Brazil, in the form of the experienced Weatherton. He's only played 10 times for the national team, but at the age of 37, he's made, well, over 300 appearances for Palmeiras. And Lucas Perry as well is amongst the substitutes for Brazil this evening, of Lyon. The Sao Paulo Academy graduate. So that'll be Martinez, though, the Argentina goalkeeper. He'll hoist this long downfield. And they've held this up nicely through Julian Alvarez. De Paul will turn one down the touchline. Molina, across came Alan. Puts it out of play for a throw into Argentina. It's level with the edge of the penalty area. 20 minutes on the clock. Estadio Monumental. A fascinating evening, of course, in this footballing rivalry, but as well for Brazil's chances of qualifying for the World Cup next year. They're pretty nailed on to get there, but I'd like to do that emphatically with a message maybe to send to the world to re-emphasise their standing on the international stage as Wesley concedes the free kick on the far side, just snapped in a bit too overzealous with a challenge on Almada. And Argentina with a set piece on the left-hand side. It's very delicately poised here for Brazil. Now they do have to go and find some route back into the game, but a 2-goal lead surely is not out of the realms of probability of them turning around, but you sense that if Argentina take total control of this game with a third, it might be dead and buried at that point. There's a real swagger display from Lionel Scaloni's side this evening. De Paul's free kick into the 6-yard box, punched away by Bento. Paredes. Molina goes all the way back to Martinez on the edge of the penalty area. Gave Vinicius the eyes and goes the other way and lofts one long downfield. Christian Romero is set off after and he's going to collect it too. In a crossing position on the right-hand side, that slipped into the penalty area for Julian Alvarez. Very tight there. Rodrigo de Paul across the face of goal, away from Bento, and then the pullback from Almada is just shuffled behind somehow by Guilherme Arana for another corner kick. Brazil weren't expecting an offside flag on Christian Romero, a flag that never came. And Argentina have come ever so close to adding a third. What's been a wonderful start from the hosts this evening. A corner kick from this right-hand side. Paredes will take it. Leandro Paredes towards the near post. Nodded away by Rafinha. Brazil will try and create something on the counter-attack, and Vinicius Jr. will burst through the challenge on the halfway line of Otamendi. Now Rodrigo. That's a difficult one, and Leandro Paredes went hammering in with that swipe at the ankles of Rodrigo. Free kick. Nothing more, though. The referee tonight is Colombia's Andres Jose Rojas Noguera. There's a simmering contest already. Alexander Guzman Bonilla and Richard Alexis Pontis Rave are the men running the lines tonight. There's Vinicius Jr. runs the line himself down this left-hand side. Goes past Molina, but Romero will flick it up to the byline. That's volleyed clear by Nahuel Molina up to the halfway line. A little glimpse of what Vinicius Jr. can do there. Brazil will need him tonight if they're going to claw their way back into contention in this contest. Across from Marquinhos to Merida. On the halfway line is Cunha, trying to hold off Alvarez, and that's really good work from Julian Alvarez to win that back, but he ran into Cunha. McAllister will spare Alvarez's blushes as here come Argentina again with De Paul right of centre, approaching the edge of the penalty area, slips it through. He managed to squeeze it to Alvarez, who flicks it over the outstretched boot of Marquinhos into the 6-yard box, where it's easily collected by Bento. Rodrigo on the right-hand side. Alongside him is Wesley. Now in field to Murillo. Marquinhos stepping in field. Laid off, edge of the centre circle now. Here is Joe Linton. Swept towards the left-hand side. Guilherme Arana. Forward to Vinicius Jr. will try and swing one into the penalty area, but that's straight down the throat of Emi Martinez. It's too high from the Real Madrid man, and an easy one for the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Beyond the midway point in this first half, it's Argentina that are absolutely dominating the game. Brazil have yet to muster a single attempt Argentina have scored with both of theirs. Enzo Fernandez just over the halfway line, creeping into Brazil territory. And for Almada, works it all the way back to Otamendi, 10 yards outside of his penalty area. And here it is with Christian Romero. So important. He's given it away here, Christian Romero, and Brazil have found their way back into the game. Matheus Cunha dispossesses Christian Romero. He is so important to this Argentina side. He's so important to his Tottenham Hotspur side, but he does have that in his locker. He just took his time and dawdled on the ball, Romero. Matheus Cunha decided he was just going to put him under a little bit of pressure, and it's a horror show from Christian Romero. Complacent, and the low drive beats Emi Martinez. And their first attempt has resulted in a goal for Brazil. Matheus Cunha. Argentina, though, charging forward now from the kickoff. Right-hand side, good ball from Molina. Just too high for Almada, who was the man flying into the near post. Matheus Cunha. With his first goal in that famous yellow shirt of Brazil. Argentina had the game in the palm of their hand. And a brain fade from Christian Romero. Just pulled a little bit of fuel on that fire. It was a faintest glimmer of hopes for Brazil, but now Wesley on the edge of the penalty area. He ran into McAllister, and it's forward from Otamendi, laid off by Enzo Fernandez. Murillo left one on him, and he's going to be the first man to be carded this evening, the Nottingham Forest defender. Not quick enough to get there before Enzo Fernandez, who sensed the challenge was coming. Quite remarkable opening 28 minutes at Estadio Monumental. All the way back to the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. He'll be desperately disappointed. Passionate character, both at Villa and, of course, for the Argentine national team. As with all goalkeepers, absolutely hates conceding goals. That's his clean sheet spoiled through a moment of madness from one of his most experienced defenders in front of him. Almost 170 caps between Christian Romero and Nicolas Otamendi. The majority of them, of course, to the Benfica defender, the 37-year-old. Here is Enzo Fernandez, though, just outside the penalty area. Inside to Almada. John Linton bounces off of him as the ball goes back to Romero on the halfway line. Rodrigo de Paul. Here's de Paul on the halfway line again, taking his time. Brazil just a little bit more confident here. They were almost dumbfounded by the speed in which they found themselves at a disadvantage against Argentina tonight. They've just started to find their feet. They have a bit of piece of fortune through Matheus Cunha's goal. But again, they're chasing shadows here. It's sloppy from de Paul. Romero will recover it down the right-hand side for Argentina. And Molina almost gave that away to Matheus Cunha on the near side. Dorival a little bit more energised now. Copa Libertadores winner in 2022 with Flamengo. It's incredibly decorated in Brazil. Brazilian football, domestically and across the continental competitions as well, as Argentina sweep it across to the left-hand side. Into the centre circle, now into the feet of Paredes, that speared forward towards Alvarez. Good anticipation from Arana, but good recovery from Almada. He's everywhere. He started on the left-hand side. A little bit of time in the middle now. He's on this right flank for Argentina. Forward through the middle. McAllister tried to whip one first time round the corner. Well read though by Andre. Now Joelinton. Edge of the centre circle. Cross to the left for Guilherme Arana. Going to Murillo in the centre circle for Brazil. Joelinton. Forward from Marquinhos. Here's Wesley on the right hand side. Andre. Back to Wesley. And now here's Rafinha back on the halfway line. Brazil being forced back into their own half. Marquinhos. And now it's all the way back to Bento. A long ball, left footed straight through the middle. Romero nods it down, collected on this right hand side by Rodrigo de Paul, scampering across. Now Nicolas Otamendi under a little bit of pressure from Rodrigo, who will follow it all the way to Emi Martinez. That's floated out towards the right hand side, but straight out of play for a throw in to Brazil. It's into the Brazil dugout, in fact. Momentum just going in Brazil's direction at the moment. After an opening quarter an hour that looked to be a celebration for the Albi Celeste, Brazil have made it a contest again. Cunha clinical, as he has been so often for Wolverhampton Wanderers this season. Rafinha laid back to the edge of the box. Marquinhos. Cunha weaving his way through challenges down the left, and he'll find Vinicius Junior ran into the hands of Christian Romero. He goes down rather dramatically, and the referee Andres Nogueira will just wander over and stand over Vinicius Junior almost dismissively as Argentina play on. He's sprung back to his feet very, very quickly. Now Vinicius Junior shouting in the ear of Nahuel Molina, who wasn't even the player he ran into. He's such a wonderfully talented player, Vinicius Junior. Maybe it's part of his game. This is how he gets fired up and gets himself going in matches at this level, but it makes it really difficult to enjoy when there he goes past three players. He's lost his footing. Maybe a little bit of the devil, some of the world's best. Yeah, that's what makes them the best. I've got to say, it's amongst the world's best at the moment. That's given away. Rafinha edge of the penalty area. Cunha wandered away from him by Enzo Fernandez, who was retreating. Now De Paul to Fernandez. Across comes Arana. Fernandez forward. Couldn't squeeze it to Alvarez, and Enzo Fernandez will just tug back at Andre, and that will be a free kick for Brazil on the left-hand side of the centre circle. And they're showing some fight here, Dorival's men. Vinicius steps inside. Nice idea. The execution not quite there as he looked for the inside run from Rafinha. It's clutched by Emi Martinez, and it's carried all the way forward to the halfway line by Alexis McAllister. Now on the halfway, on the edge of the penalty area with Otamendi. Turned back to Emi Martinez. Otamendi, left-hand side. Tagliafico looks in field. Sprayed rather back to Emi Martinez. He does have Vinicius Junior just lurking in his eye line. Nice neat play from Leandro Paredes to work it across to Romero. And now here comes Rodrigo de Paul with a burst of energy through the middle. Tagliafico now for Thiago Almada. Has defenders backpedaling in front of him. Lifted towards the back post. It's going to drop here for Rodrigo de Paul. Tight angle. Can he squeeze it back across the face of goal? Lifted towards the back post. Marino underneath it in the 6-yard box. Nodded away by Joelinton. edge of the penalty area. Almada steered away from the top corner. It's a wonderful save by Bento. Just plucks it out of the top corner away from an effort from Thiago Almada. Stabbed his left boot towards it and it's almost squeezed in there. It's a terrific save from Bento, who not too long ago was receiving treatment. Brazil might have a goal back, but Argentina still have this game by the throat. Taken short, Almada pulls it back, De Paul, left of centre, 30 yards from goal. Back to the left, Paredes tried to face one in with his right. That's off of Rodrigo. Work towards this right-hand side. Enzo Fernandez slips one forward. Oh, it's wonderful. Alexis McAllister will just clip it over the top of Bento. And Argentina restore the 2-goal cushion. It's fantastic football from Argentina. Ten minutes after Mateus Cunha gave Brazil a little bit of hope, Alexis McAllister extinguishes it again. It's a wonderfully worked set piece from Argentina. Brazil a bit sluggish to get out. Enzo Fernandez spotted the run of Alexis McAllister darting from the edge of the penalty area. He floats it and curls it right onto the right boot of Alexis McAllister, who has the presence of mind to just cushion it over the on-rushing Bento. Argentina 3, Brazil 1. Alexis McAllister with the finishing touch. Brazil on the back foot in Buenos Aires. It's a sumptuous ball from Enzo Fernandez. It's been a night where Argentina's stars never usually overshadowed by Lionel Messi, but oh, something's just erupted here as it's getting a little bit spicy out there. A little shove on Tagliafico after a coming together, and the referee's having to step in to pull them apart here. Rafinha having a bit of a shouting match with Rodrigo de Paul. Mateus Cunha is incensed with something that Rodrigo de Paul has said. Leandro Paredes is walking away from it. Joel Linton is trying to defuse the situation. The referee has just stepped in to have a word. Nicolas Otamendi is enjoying this. He's sees the funny side, at least. Vinicius Junior not one to shy away from these kind of situations. The Brazil number 7. Lots of egos, lots of opinions. It's definitely a foul from Tagliafico. Rafinha bounced back to his feet and sought him out. A little shove from Rafinha. And Leandro Paredes comes to usher, shall we say, Rafinha away from Tagliafico. That's where it all erupted. Yellow cards for both Tagliafico and Rafinha, we believe. It's difficult to keep track of who the referee was talking to, who he was showing the card to. But on all of that happens, Brazil are back underway. Goalkeeper Bento under pressure. Alvarez went sliding in. He got a little flick on it as well, and it almost settled for Enzo Fernandez. But how about that from a turn from Mateus Cunha under pressure on the halfway line? Spins into the tiniest pocket of space, and Rafinha's been fouled, this time by Almada, and he will be shown a yellow card by the referee. Taking one for the team there, Thiago Almada. A big night in World Cup qualifying in South America. All eyes, of course, at the moment on Buenos Aires. So Chile and Ecuador, Colombia, Paraguay and Venezuela versus Peru. Argentina in possession. Rodrigo trying to put Otamendi under a little bit of pressure on the left-hand side. It's against Vinicius Junior for a throw-in. Well, Venezuela lead Peru by a goal to nil. Salomon Rondon with a strike just before the break. That one kicked off on time, so they'll be finishing in a few moments, whereas we still have a little more than 3.5 minutes and whatever the officials add on before the break. Brazil win it back inside the Argentina half. Mateus Cunha will just smuggle that forward. Rafinha tried to find Vini Jr. Cristian Romero, heavy touch. Joel Linton with the challenge. Both of them bounced back to their feet in a pretty hefty collision between the Premier League pair, but a little high five and on they go. Moreno, Arana, Vini Jr. steps inside, tries to find Joel Linton, who's been dispossessed, and McAllister flicks one forward. Here is Almada, that's too intricate. Marquinhos will win it back in the centre circle. Vini Jr. bundled to ground by Leandro Paredes, but no foul, says the referee. Just coming together. Has Mateus Cunha been called? Advantage, says the referee. Left-hand side now, Arana. Infield. Nice little pass from Rafinha. No way through for Rodrigo. There might be for Argentina. McAllister tugged back by Joel Linton. And it'll be a free kick, and Rodrigo de Paul is right in the ear of the referee, almost inches away from him. Pulled at the shoulder of the Liverpool midfielder, did Joel Linton. Cristian Romero to take the free kick for Argentina. It's just inside their half of the pitch. Dorival Jr. has spotted something he's not happy with. He's screaming his defenders at the moment as Rodrigo de Paul has taken over the set piece. Debate between de Paul and McAllister. It is Rodrigo de Paul to Leandro Paredes, and now across from Otamendi to Romero. Folks that down the touchline. The header won by Arana, and the throw-in goes to Argentina just in front of the dugouts. Not too long to go now till the half-time break in Buenos Aires. Wonderful game, wonderful contest so far. Of course, as we've already said, there's games underway elsewhere where Colombia are 2 goals up against Paraguay in Barranquilla. And Luis Diaz struck after just 1 minute. And then John Duran doubled Colombia's lead after 13 minutes and an assist from Liverpool's Luis Diaz. Across on the right-hand side, Marquinhos. It's forward by Bento. Not Andre. Guilherme Arana. Flick off of Molina. Quickly tossed back into play to Arana. 2 minutes of time added on at the end of the first half. 2 minutes that'll be most welcome for Brazil and Argentina. So both of them look a little bit of a break here. Not sure Rafinha agrees with me as he goes sprinting towards Emi Martinez. The long ball won't reach Enzo Fernandez. Murillo gets there first. Now left-hand side with Vinicius Junior. Two come across to meet him. Vinicius Junior beyond Molina, across came Romero, sliding in. Little flick on the ball. Vinicius Junior back up to his feet and a handshake with Romero, as that'll go out of play for a corner kick. Some really intriguing battles on the pitch tonight. These two sets of players know each other so well. Them coming up against each other or even alongside each other in domestic leagues and European football. No touch in the end from Christian Romero, according to the officials, so it's a goal kick instead for Emiliano Martinez. Another one that's straight out of play from the Villa goalkeeper. Into the last 30 seconds. Argentina now wearing a beautiful new kit to celebrate their latest anniversary. Simple Argentina number reminiscent of the old days of Diego Maradona. Martinez clad all in green tonight as the ball at his feet. The referee that'll look at his watch. Andres Rojas, the Colombian referee, will bring the first half to an end. What a half it's been as well. Argentina dominant in the opening exchanges, and Julian Alvarez capitalised with a wonderful piece of work. And then Enzo Fernandez doubled Argentina's lead with just 12 minutes on the clock. There are frayed tempers at the break at half-time, and it's been that kind of contest already. Rafinha is having to be held back by some of his teammates. The teenager Endrick. Marquinhos getting into a little bit of something with Emi Martinez. And it's all threatening to boil over at the moment. One of the Argentina coaches, Walter Samuel, as well, not happy about something. Brazil had a bit of hope after going 2 goals down. Of Mateus Cunha capitalised on a Christian Romero horror show, an error just outside the penalty area to create Brazil's one and only opportunity of the game and their only real piece of encouragement. Mateus Cunha wandering off at half-time, away from the melee. The only bright spot for Brazil in a pretty dismal half, which was typified by Alexis McAllister's goal. Sublime ball from Enzo Fernandez, and the cushion finished over Bento has given Argentina total control at the break at Estadio Monumental in Buenos Aires. We're back in around 15 minutes for the second half live, but at half time it's Argentina 3, Brazil 1.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.